What's up, guys? Ryan here, and we're continuing with this little Evil Dead, Oh the Horror series. And today I'm going to talk about the second one in the Evil Dead series, which is, of course, Evil Dead 2, Dead by Dawn. This one is an interesting one because I guess at the time, Raimi and Tapper, sort of the two main guys of that whole crew with Bruce Campbell and Ted Raimi and all those guys, they had sort of moved on after Evil Dead, tried to do some other movies, and they weren't really getting that successful. So they hadn't really planned on doing an Evil Dead 2, but it sort of got thrown in their laps, so they went for it. And the original idea was supposed to be to get a fair amount of funding and to make a whole movie that involved Ash going back in time and fighting the undead in the medieval times kind of thing. And of course, we didn't see that until the third film, Army of Darkness. So basically, they didn't get the money they wanted, so they had to do some different things with the script. So what they decided to do was to make a direct sequel, continuing from the original film. It had been several years, I think, in the difference here, maybe 7 years or close, or maybe 6 or 7 years from Evil Dead being released. And what they did was, originally they were going to do this little recap with all the characters, and the start of the film was going to be this recap of what had happened in the first one and then continue on. And when they needed to save some cash, they ended up scrapping most of the other characters. So this one has this really weird intro where it's just Ash and his girlfriend, and it plays out sort of their story and then continues on from there with Ash for the rest of the film. So it's a lot of people find it confusing, is it a direct sequel? Is it not? What's going on here? And that's basically all that happened, was that they just didn't have the money to have all the characters in the intro sequence. So it's a direct sequel to Evil Dead. And this one, we have Ash basically all by himself for quite some time in the film. Continuing to survive the night, or the next night, I guess, in this cabin in the woods. And they sort of changed some of the storyline too. Again, I told you before that in the original film, the Book of the Dead was had a different name, the Niturin Demon, I can't remember what it was now. And in this film, it's finally called the Necronomicon Ex Mortis. And they sort of fleshed out that whole thing too, because we have extra characters that come in, which are the daughter of the guy that translated the text, and we have some more story with him. His dead wife makes an appearance, played by Ted Raimi, which is quite hilarious. And I guess that's something we should get into. Whereas the first film was more of a straight horror release, this one really is a horror comedy. It's full of schlock, very aimed at Three Stooges style comedy, slapstick stuff. But really hilarious stuff. There are some really funny scenes in this movie. Ash is a completely different character. In the first film, we had this guy who was, just surviving the night. He was I don't even know how to put it. He wasn't this tough, badass guy. And in this one, we have this Ash that becomes this real badass motherfucker. And he, for the first part of the movie, Bruce Campbell's all by himself. He's basically fighting the elements by himself. It's not till the second and third acts when we see the other characters sort of show up, and he does a great job. Most of the actors do a pretty good job in this. At least I thought so. And this one is generally the one that's most fans like the best. Again, because it's real horror comedy. It's really funny. Lots of great gore effects. And I forgot to mention that in the last video about Evil Dead. Evil Dead has some fantastic gore effects in it, really good stuff. I can't believe I forgot to mention it, but this one also has some great special effects. Greg Nicotero actually was the one that did the special effects in this one, costume effects and different things like that. But personally, I think that I like Evil Dead more, and it's because I'm more of a straightforward horror guy than I am a horror comedy guy. But this does horror comedy right. As far as horror comedies go, this is probably one of the best. It's hilarious. It's well put together. Again, really well shot, just like the original Evil Dead. Raimi knows what he's doing on the camera. It has that frenetic style that he had in that movie. He sort of eschewed that lately, but in these kind of films, he went for that full bore. And it does, of course, lead into the next film, because this one did pretty well, I think, in theater and stuff like that. So yeah, guys, not much else to say here, except if for some reason, which I would find very hard to believe, you haven't seen this one, This is a great one to watch, especially around Halloween, like this whole series is. Again, to reiterate, it's hilarious, lots of gore, lots of fun. Just a fun time watching this movie, so you have to go out and see it. It will not let you down, trust me. And yeah, that's it. So I have one more film, I guess, in this series to do, and that'll be out soon. And I hope you guys are enjoying. I've got a couple other things in the can that'll be up in the next little while. And yeah, just hope you keep watching. So I'll talk to you soon, and peace. So yeah, not much. It is a fantastic movie, and that is Evil Dead 2. So thanks very much for watching, guys, and we'll have another one of these up very soon. So text message. So anyway, guys, that's it. You know, thanks for watching. The fuck. So yeah, I'll be continuing with this little series. I got one more in the series left. I'm talking out my ass right now.